I cleared 13,000 and a half US last month on the side.
Wow.
9 to 5. Just working like a dog. It's literally it. Like, I've had to sacrifice a few things. It's to set myself up at the end of the year to exit the 9 to 5 and go full out in high ticket sales.
Do you remember closing your first deal? What was like? Talk us through the feeling.
Crazy. Like, after I closed it, I was like, so it's pretty much this easy. But eventually by the end of the year, keep it consistent at 10 to 15K. And then obviously when I exit my recruitment position, 20K upwards.
Yeah.
That's the plan. Until you do it, until you see the money in your bank account, you think, is this still real? Or once you close the deal, the amount of dopamine you get, the amount of excitement you get from it, it's just a realization.
Well, here we are.
How are we?
I would like to say this is the first time we've met, but it's certainly not.
No, it's not.
So yeah, very, very interesting member interview we're going to have here with Leo, and again, comes from a recruitment background. So before spoiling it and sort of getting into anything else, if you just want to give a bit of an intro in terms of who you are, I suppose what you were doing before getting into remote sales, and what you've just managed to make last month in commissions.
So my name's Leo. I'm in recruitment for early years industry. I've been in recruitment for the last 2.5 years. And I'm still in it now, currently. Found high ticket closing, landed an offer last month, the start of last month.
Yeah.
And I cleared 13,000 and a half US last month on the side of 9 to 5.
So just for people to understand, because, you know, a lot of people look at like 10, 20, 30K a month, and that is, of course, you know, a lot of money, of course. I mean, not necessarily maybe in remote sales. It realistically, if you have the skill set, you know, and you're on a good offer, should be what you're making. But obviously, given you put in the work, you just mentioned that you made 13.5K while still at your recruitment job.
Yeah.
So how are you doing that?
Oh, it's key of it, just working like a dog. That's literally it. Like, I've had to sacrifice a few things, like going to the gym when I want to be or going on runs when I want to be. But it's to set myself up at the end of the year to exit the 9 to 5 and go full out in high ticket sales.
So from a logistical standpoint, how are you fitting it in? Are you doing them after work, weekends?
So I work 5 days a week in office. I know you mentioned you thought I did 2 days at home. I actually don't.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah, so it's 5 days in the office. I have to start work at 7 a.m.
Wow.
And if I'm honest, I don't really get out of work till about 5:30, 6:30. But since taking calls, I've left every single day at 5:30. So then I can take calls from 6 to 11. And then on the weekends, I take calls the full days pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. Wow. So, okay. So from your side of things, a lot of people, I think the biggest question they have is, you know, do I have to quit my job? And obviously, clearly you're a prime example, as is Harry Ward and every single person that we work with. You don't have to quit your job. You do it on the side. But I always say, to be realistic and conservative, you should realistically look to try and do 3 to 7K a month on the side. You know, you've done multiple 5 figures a month on the side of your recruitment job. But I suppose taking us back to, you were in recruitment for 2.5 years. Why did you even think or have the thoughts about transitioning? Because a lot of guys, like, I'm in recruitment 2.5 years, I'm making good money. Why even have the thoughts?
Yeah, this is the thing. I think even before I got into recruitment, I was an electrician. I think you remember.
Yeah,
as well.
I remember that. Yeah,
got my qualification in that, and I felt like I hit a ceiling in that. So I wanted to try something else and went into recruitment. Done 2.5 years there. Was top biller for the last year or so, and become the assistant manager at the company. But again, I felt like I reached the ceiling at that point. So I wanted to see what there was more out there, really, and use my skills to my advantage. And obviously, knowing you already and seeing the content you put out, I thought, let me just take this risk and see where it takes me.
Well, can I ask, what do you think triggered it? Because I think when you, as you said, you got promoted to assistant manager, you know, clearing mid 4 figures a month, like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8K in a recruitment job, like 99.9% of people at 22, 23 years old would be like, right, that's me set. I'm going to work my way up to be a director, a managing director. Like, I am set. 6 figures a year, happy days. Like, what almost was it that you were just like, I'm just not going to go down this route? I mean, was there either like one specific thing or even a stack of things that just made you go, I'm going to do more?
Well, just seeing that there's so much more out there really to achieve and do. And you're right by saying I'm at a point where I'm 23 and I'm earning decent money compared to the people around me. But there's so much more out there. And I think what it was for me is working those long days, day in, day out, from 7 to 6, sometimes even later. I just thought, this can't be it. This can't be life. So I need to see use my skills and see what I could achieve to allow me to have that freedom and time for myself.
Yeah. And when you, I mean, was there anything else that you sort of looked at before remote sales out of interest?
I looked at Amazon FBA
Yeah.
and I looked at trading, but it's learning a different ball game.
Yeah.
Like you're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about the industry. And it's very, very long-winded. So if you don't know anything about it going into it, it's like putting a puzzle together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's a business.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't think people understand how difficult business is. It's like you are the be all and the end all. If you're not bringing in revenue, you're screwed. It's like content, marketing, ads, funnels, fulfillment, finding products, product research, and it's a very hard thing. Like I think people like to glamorize it online, like, oh, get into this, but it's like, no, do you know like how hard business is? And that's the thing with remote sales. It's like, especially with guys that we work with that have corporate sales, recruitment, tech sales, software sales, insurance broker, and business development, door-to-door car sales experience. Like, well, we have the skill already, so let's just start putting it in a better industry where we can 3 to 5x more per month what we're making. Yeah. Okay, so coming aboard Capital Closer, what was it that sort of made you go, do you know what, I'm going to need coaching and sort of help and mentorship specifically in order for me to get to where I want to be within remote sales? Because a lot of guys are like, oh, I've already got sales experience. You know, I'm, you know. I
mean, this is the thing, like you can go online and go down the rabbit hole and try and work it out for yourself, but it might be easier for me because me knowing you, I've seen what you've done and I've seen what you've created. So I had a lot more trust in you. But besides that, I'd rather invest in a mentor that can fast track me to a point where I want to be, you know, instead of trying to figure it all out myself.
Yeah. I think that is the biggest thing at the end of the day. I don't think, and I think it's hard within remote sales. What people don't understand is firstly, the sales process is very different.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you can sort of touch on that, how like it is actually quite different. It's not the same. And the second thing being like landing a role. I mean, the example I always use is like, just because you're playing football doesn't mean you're going to get a trial at an academy. And it's one of those things where because they're paying out 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K a month to these sales roles, like, do you think these business owners are going to be okay with accepting someone who's going to close at 20% or 22.5%? Because you could go, oh, they're paid for performance, they're not losing money. But what if they hired someone that did have experience, that did know what they were doing? They'd be closing at 40%. So they're losing maybe $1 million a year by hiring someone who's like, oh, I've got corporate sales experience, but you don't know remote sales. You haven't gone through training, you haven't gone through coaching. So for you coming on board Capital Closer, I mean, just give us a rundown. Like, what was your first sort of month like? Because you joined, was it the end of April?
You start of May, yeah.
Start of May. What was your, I suppose, first month like in terms of the learning, the training, the first realizations?
Just putting my head down really and just going through all the trainings and the modules. Then once I've got to a stage where I'm doing mock calls, then just to smash them out. Do as many mock calls as I could, submit them, get passed, and then land an offer. That was the main thing. But smashing through the modules and doing the mock calls was the main thing.
And you managed to land an offer last month?
Yeah. Wanted to get it done sooner,
yeah.
But had some personal issues going on which set me back, but it still didn't deter me from where I wanted to be and wanted to get. So locked in last month, landed an offer, and yeah, here we are.
How did you find the difference in terms of sales process out of interest?
It's a lot quicker.
Yeah.
It's a lot more fast paced and it's better really. So you don't have to wait around for anything and get to where you want to get to easier. Really.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is the speed of it, but also it's a lot more emotional. Like it's not logical at all. When you're in recruitment, it's normally cold calling. People want you to go away. Yeah. So getting into the emotional side, it's like, well, what are you doing? They'd be like, they'd hang up on you. But when it's a warm inbound lead, you have to go through that emotional sort of stage of like the data gathering and sort of going from, the identity selling and all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the biggest things. Now, when you obviously got through what you got to, sort of brought it back in terms of you had a few things going on, you made it happen, you landed that offer. How did you land that role?
Through the recruiters board in Capital Closer.
Yeah.
I literally applied for loads, created a Loom video, sent them out, and then I had about 3 recruitment agencies reach back out to me, and one of them I hopped on an interview with, smashed it out, and then, here we are.
Do you remember closing your first deal?
Yeah.
What was, like, talk us through the feeling?
Crazy. Like, it was hard to believe until it was done.
Yeah.
After I closed it, I was like, so it's pretty much this easy.
Yeah.
It can be this easy. Because until you do it, until you see the money in your bank account, you think, is this still real?
Yeah.
And then once it comes through, or once you close the deal, the amount of dopamine you get, the amount of excitement you get from it, it's just a realization to what it actually is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if you come from a sporting background, you're into the gym and all that sort of stuff, I think it's just so like boom, boom, boom. And it is a personal development thing. Like the better you are, the more that you're going to make. It's simple as that. and you actually are paid for performance. There's none of this like bullshit in the middle, such as he's been in the company for 5 years, or he knows the owner, or he's only 20 years old, or the tax rate. It's like, no, if you're good, you make a lot of money. If you're terrible, you make no money. Now, obviously, going through that sort of entire month, the offer that you're on, it's what niche is it in?
Trading.
How did you find sort of selling within that industry?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's the first time, obviously, on an offer and actually going into trading as well. But more so because I mastered the skill of sales, it wasn't really focused. I didn't really focus on the niche that I was in. It was more so the pain points of the prospects.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that's the thing. It's not, a lot of people ask, like, how am I going to learn selling these different offers and mentorships? It's like, well, you're not actually selling really about the mentorship. It's more the outcome.
Yeah.
And you can sell e-com, Amazon FBA trading, or whatever it may be, because you have that. So from a capital closer standpoint, what were, obviously, you've only had just your first full month of sales or closing even, which is mad. What was the biggest sort of takeaways that you had from capital closer that you were like, that really helped me and sort of allowed me to sort of do the numbers that I did?
Well, I'd say the recruiters channel, that's what helped me land my offer. I think having that access to that is going to be massively, massively beneficial to anyone that's on capital closer, giving you the access to all these roles that are recruiting in a sense, isn't it? And the community as well of capital closer, seeing the boys, their wins day in, day out, they're pushing each other. I think that's the main thing, being surrounded by these like-minded members, pushing one another to their limits and really elevating one another. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I think because it's one of those things when you're in your corporate sales job, you can almost be the big dog, right? You mentioned you're the assistant manager and everyone's probably like, oh, you're making this money, blah, blah, blah. But it's just like sport, really, isn't it? When you go from playing Sunday league and then you start getting to academy football, you're like, maybe I'm not as good as you, but in Sunday league, you're like, I'm better than all of you.
Yeah.
And it's like, where are you going to grow then? Like, I always want to be in a room where it's like, I'm literally earning the least.
Yeah.
And I think with remote sales, when you get into that, your 4, 5, 6K a month, your 6-figure year salary, you're right down at the bottom compared to the guys inside capital closer. So for you now, Q4, you're still in your recruitment job. What is the plan now until the end of the year?
Well, I've already handed in my notice, but because my boss is a family friend, I told him I'm going to leave around the end of the year just to have a nice little send-off. But up until that point, I'm going to set myself up, excel my sales experience and my high-ticket sales experience as best as I can so that when I do leave, everything's just going to flow. Everything's just going to benefit me.
And what are you thinking as a whole? Are you stacking it? Because, I always say from remote sales, use it for what it is. Stack as much as possible. Put it all away for 1, 2, 3 years. Put 50, 100, 150, 200 in the bank account. And then you can move on to whatever you want to do, the plays. What's the sort of vision almost for you? Are you looking to sort of stay in the UK, stack as much as possible, get another offer, travel around a bit? Like, what do you think?
Well, I think stack as much as I can, but next year I definitely want to travel. And potentially even see what the lifestyle's like in Dubai to potentially move out there in the near future. But the main thing for me at the minute is just to stack as much as I can, master my skills in high ticket sales, and then get to a point next year where I can travel wherever I want and work wherever I want.
Yeah. What's up? I mean, you just missed out on the activewear set by like
God,
1.5K,
annoying,
which
mate.
I was gutted about.
Annoying.
I thought you were going to get it. Obviously, we do everyone who hits 15K, we give them an activewear set in Navy, and then 30K you get one, and 50K a month in comms. So targets end of the year, commissions wise, what are you realistically going to be aiming for? Still going to be in a recruitment job.
Yeah,
as well.
this is the thing. I've just got to try and balance it. I definitely want to hit 15K this month. It might be tight because I'm going to Thailand at the end of this month.
Oh, yeah,
but yeah, for 2 weeks. But we'll see what we can do.
Taking calls out there?
Yeah, I'm planning to. But eventually by the end of the year, keep it consistent at 10 to 15K. And then obviously when I exit my recruitment position, 20K upwards.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
I mean, it puts you in a nice place. I always say to the guys that when you make that transition, that's 13K, 15K, and, probably 15K to be conservative, you'll do, over the next sort of 3 months. That's, around 45,000 in your remote sales bank account. Mm-hmm. That when you make the transition, you've got that cushion to go to Thailand, to do whatever you do, to move on to your bigger plays. But to be fair, honestly, I'm genuinely just so happy that you've been able to do the numbers that you have. I think having me and Leah sort of mutually known each other, I mean, we sort of seen each other a lot. Leah's from Epsom. I'm from probably about 10, 15, 20 minutes away. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just so much more, because I think a lot of people, sometimes it's even worse when you know someone, right? Yeah. Because they're like, and they don't want to maybe invest because it's maybe awkward. Yeah. Some people are like, but I genuinely just couldn't be happier, knowing that it's your first full month. You've done it on the side of the recruitment job. And I think just to know it's real, to know that you've done it and you can get your time back to go to the gym and, that it's just the beginning. So again, huge example of the guys inside Capital Closer, and Can't wait to see where we're at in the next 3 months, mate.
No, I appreciate it.
Tom, man, awesome,
Thank you
bro.
very much,
Catch you
mate.
in a bit.